Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. All right, let's begin. cheto-darpana-marjanam, bhava-maha-davagni-nirvapanam, श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका-वितरणं विद्यावधुजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमितः स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवं ईदृशं निह जानीनानुरागः त्रिनादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनया सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहितकी त्वयि हे नन्दतनुज किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजसित धूलीसदृशं विचिन्तये नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गदगदहृदया गिरा पुल्कैर्निशितं वपुकदा तव नामग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रवर्षायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लीष्य वा पादर्तां विनष्टु मामदर्शनान् मर्मतां करोतु वा यथा तथा भविदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः. We are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-lila, Volume 1, Chapter 7, Lord Chaitanya in 5 features. In that, we are listening to the story of meeting of Prakashanand Saraswati and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Banaras. So, just a recap. Prakashanand Saraswati met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he's asking him, you are a sannyasi from Shankaracharya's order, initiated by Keshav Bharati. And instead of doing Vedanta and doing meditation, what are you doing dancing like this with these low-class people? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very humbly says that my guru gave me this mantra and something just happens to me. I'm really a mad person. My guru does not fit that I am worthy of practicing Vedanta. And that's why my guru gave me this mantra. And he said, and he explained me certain things with the mantra. He said, for this yuga, this mantra is everything. The name of Krishna will give you everything that you are requiring. And then my guru told me one more thing. He gave me the importance of that. He said that in this, number one, in this yuga, this is everything. And this is the fifth goal of life. Getting Krishna Prema is the fifth goal of life. And my guru said, you have got Prema, and so you don't have to do anything else. And then my guru explained me what is the sabhav, what is the nature of Prema. You keep crying, you keep dancing, you get perspiration, you tremble, etc., etc. So yesterday we discussed about all the 8 symptoms of bhakti, and I took a big class on that, trying to explain to you that yes, these are going to happen in bhakti. So if you cry, cry. Openly cry. Do not worry. If you want to dance sometimes, openly dance. Do not hide yourself. This is a place where you can be whatever you want to be in front of God. Cry, dance, laugh. You don't want to do anything, be quiet, no problem. Everywhere else, you have to hide yourself in the world. All your feelings, all your emotion, you keep hiding. But when you're in front of God, He knows everything. So be what you are. So don't hide your tears. Don't hide anything. Shvedakamba sharu gada gada vaivarnya unmada vishada dhairya garva harsha dainya eta bhave prema bhakta ganera nachaya krishnera ananda amrita sagare bhasaya. Perspiration, trembling, standing on end of one's bodily hairs, tears, faltering voice, fading complexion, madness, melancholy, patience, pride, joy, and humility. These are various natural symptoms of ecstatic love, which causes a devotee to dance and float in an ocean of transcendental bliss while chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. And my guru said, it's very good, my dear child, that you have attained the supreme goal of life by developing the love of Godhead. Thus, you have pleased me very much, and I'm very obliged to you. My dear child, continue dancing, chanting, and performing Sankirtan in association with devotees. Furthermore, go out and preach the value of chanting Krishna Nama, for by this process, you'll be able to deliver all the fallen souls. Saying this, my spiritual master taught me a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the essence of all Bhagavatam's instructions. And when a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is very dear to him, he is agitated and loudly chants the holy name. He also laughs, cries, becomes agitated, and chants like a madman, not caring for outsiders. I firmly believe in these words of my spiritual master. And therefore, O Prakash Anandji, I always chant the holy name of Lord alone in the association of devotees. That holy name of Lord sometimes causes me to chant and dance, and therefore I chant and dance. Please do not think that I'm doing it intentionally. It is happening by itself. Krishna Name Ye Anand Sindhu Aswadana Brahmanand Tarage Khatodak Sama. He says, compared to the ocean of transcendental bliss that one tastes by chanting the Krishna name, the pleasure derived from impersonal Brahman realization is like a shallow water in a canal. Tvat karnalada vishubdabdi sthitasya me sukhani gosh padayante brahmani api jagadguru. My dear Lord, O Lord of, O Master of Universe, since I have directly seen you, my transcendental bliss has taken the shape of a great ocean. Being situated in that ocean, I now realize all other so-called happiness to be like water contained in a hoof print of a calf. Prabhura Mishta Vakya Shuni Sanyasira Guna Chitta Pheri Gela Kahe Madhura Vachana Yehi Kichu Kahile Tumi Sabha Satyahaya Krishna Prema Sei Paya Yara Bhagyodaya. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told this to Prakashan and Saraswati, all the sadhus are listening, the Nyasis are listening. And the way he was talking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so sweetly, so humbly, that the sannyasis were moved. Their minds changed. And they spoke with pleasing words. All the sannyasis said, "Oh, my dear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what you have said is all true. One who is favored by fortune attains this Bhagwan Prema. Prema means love for Godhead. Krishna bhakti kara ihai, sabara santosha, Vedanta na suna kene, tara ki badosha. O Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is no objection to your being a great devotee of the Lord, of Lord Krishna. Everyone is satisfied with this. But still, why do you avoid discussions on Vedanta Sutra? What's wrong in that? Eta suni prabhu bali le vachana dukha namana yadi kare nivedana. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he laughed. And he said, and he spoke in this way. He smiled slightly and said, "My dear sirs, if you don't mind, can I say something to you regarding Vedanta philosophy?" The seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with the knowledge and detachment, realizes the absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Sutra. इहा सुने बाले सर्व सन्यासी रगाणा तो माके देखिए यैचे साक्षात narayana. All the sannyasis looked at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they said, "You look like Narayana himself." And dear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they said, "We will tell you the truth. We really are very pleased to hear what you talk. Your words are and your bodily features. The way you talk, the way you look, both are very pleasing to the mind. And we feel extraordinary satisfaction looking at you. तुम्हारा प्रभावे सबरा आनंदित मना कबू असंगत नहीं तुम्हारा वचन. Oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, dear sir, by your influence, our minds are greatly satisfied. We feel very happy and we believe that your words will never be unreasonable. Therefore, you may speak on the Vedanta Sutra. प्रभु कहे वेदांत सूत्र ईश्वर वचन व्यास रूपे कैलाया श्री नारायण. Bhagavan said, do you all agree that Vedanta, the philosophy of Vedanta, Vedanta Sutra, was written by Vyasadeva? Yes. And who is Vyasadeva? He is Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya. He is the form of Vishnu, form of Narayan. Is it true? Brahma Pramada Vipralipsa Karana Patava Ishwarera Vakya Nahi Dosha Ei Sab. So if Vyasadeva has written the Vedanta Sutra and he is the incarnation of Vishnu as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavata, then whatever he has written, there cannot be any faults in his writing. Is it true? The material defects of mistakes, illusions, cheating, and sensory inefficiency do not exist in the world of Bhagwan. The absolute truth is described in the Upanishads and Brahma Sutra as well. But one must understand the verses as they are. That is the supreme glory in understanding. Sri Shankaracharya has described all the Vedic literatures in the terms of indirect meanings. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, whatever Vyasadeva has written, you have to understand it as it is. Why deduce an indirect meaning from the whole thing? Shankaracharya has described the Vedic literatures, but in terms of indirect meanings. And that is why when we hear the indirect meanings, there are always chances of getting confused. Shankaracharya is not at fault. This is written here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, तान्हारा नाही क दोष ईश्वर्य आज्ञा पाया गुणार्थ करील मुख्य अर्थ आच्छादिया. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Shankaracharya is not at fault. For it is under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that he has covered the real purpose of the Vedas. And I told you why. Because he was in Kashi, and Kashi at that time was the center of learning for the Buddhists also, Sarnath, very close proximity. And in that era, when Shankaracharya was there, youngsters were becoming Buddhist. No harm in following Buddhism, but disregarding the Vedas, when all the knowledge what Buddha gave was from the Vedas only thing is he just changed the way. So Shankaracharya also gave the same philosophy in a different way, but re-established the Vedas. So this is what it is. So he is not at fault. He did something which was inspired by Bhagwan himself. Now, understand, he says, ब्रह्म शब्दे मुख्य अर्थे कहे भगवान चिदैश्वर्य परिपूर्ण अनुर्ध्व समान. According to the direct understanding, the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has all spiritual opulences, no one can be equal or greater to him. Brahma Shabda Mukhya Artha Kahe Bhagwan. The real meaning of Brahma Shabda is Bhagwan. So when you read the Bhashyas, Shankaracharya's Bhashyas, everywhere he has spoken about Brahma, 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 Brahma Tattva, which they call as Advaita. Brahma is that super conscious energy, which is pervading everywhere. And you as humans are also that Brahma, and that Brahma is that energy. So you are formless. The English translation for that is formless, but formless word doesn't give the right meaning. Brahma means that super conscious energy, that's all. Everything is just a transformation of that super conscious energy. That is Brahmavad, Advaitvad. You are a part and parcel of that super conscious energy. Only that super conscious energy is called Brahma, and that alone is the truth, Brahma Satyam. And whatever you see in the world is all mithya, it's all lies. In a way, he's telling right. Because if something is the truth, the absolute truth, the word important here is absolute truth. You go on analyzing, and then you find the absolute truth. What is the absolute truth? Say, I say your milk is white in color. Yes, milk is white in color, always. That is absolute truth. Now, milk, if you mix some, say, strawberry color, or red color in it, you make strawberry milkshake. The milk has changed its color. You just put a red color food dye in it. The milk changes the color. But that doesn't mean that milk is red in color. Milk, the absolute truth is, milk is red in color. Say if I curdle the milk and make cheese out of it. The cheese is in solid form. I make yogurt out of it. That is in different form. I make sweets out of it. They're all in different forms. The forms are appearing different. Yes, I understand. But this form, what is the absolute truth? You go beyond it. You say, oh, this is made out of milk. So milk is the absolute truth. Milk has changed its forms. Milk has changed its colors. But the original truth is, milk is the truth. So somebody will go beyond that. Why is milk white in color? Somebody will analyze that. What is it that is making milk white in color, and why milk changes color? Somebody will get into the science. So you go on deducing, you go on finding out the ultimate truth. So the whole world, what you see, is like that. That same Brahma Tattva has changed forms. Somewhere the Brahma is appearing like mountains. And somewhere the Brahma is appearing like living human beings. Somewhere the Brahma appears like oceans. Somewhere the Brahma appears like animals. Same Brahma, that ocean, somewhere that Brahma is becoming rivers. And the same Brahma becomes the living beings inside the rivers. It's the Brahma Tattva. So it's the essence of everything. So Vedanta Sutra, when the Bhashya was written by Shankaracharya, he took the Brahma Tattva because, yes, it made sense because it was very parallel to the Buddhist philosophy. What are you going after the stories of Puranas and everything? Brahma is the only Satya. That superconscious energy is the only Satya. Everything is just like a movie. When you see a movie, it's on the screen. You see so many characters in the movie. While you are seeing the movie, you are seeing some stories in the movie. Are they all true? Did it really happen? But you believe it. That's illusion. So you believe, okay, this is the illusion. You're seeing the actors in the screen. Are they there? No. So what do? You just turn back and you see, oh, there is a light. And there's a light and something is going on. And that light and the sound, the mixture of the light and the sound is creating this movie. Sometimes they give a sound of heartbeat. Sometimes when there is an intense scene, they'll start playing drums in the background, and that the sound of the drum will make your heart literally flutter. And sometimes when there's a romantic scene, they'll be playing flute or violin or something. Or sometimes there is a sad scene, and the violin. Sometimes there is a very dramatic scene and the piano. So the person who's sitting in the movie theater is seeing the movie. Yeah, this scene, this scene, this scene. Yeah. One person is like fully involved in the movie. Oh wow, this scene, that scene, is crying, is laughing, and the other person who is like a scientific bent, he'll be like, why are you laughing? This story is not real. Look behind. It's all a play of the light and the sound. Let me go behind and understand how the light and the sound plays. So that person has gone in to see light and the sound. He can create as many illusions as he wants. If you know the science. So everything is an illusory energy. So Shankaracharya brought that. Oh, that superconscious energy has come down in this world to become as an illusory energy. And that illusory energy is creating all these illusions and come out of these illusions because these illusions are false. What is the truth? Behind this illusory energy. Oh, is the light the truth? Is the sound the truth? No, somebody else. He only spoke till there, okay? The light and the sound part. That's all he said. The truth is, look back, because Gautama Buddha said that much only. Look back. And you'll see the light and the sound. Or then you looked at the screen and you're like, wow, that's the truth. No. You go beyond. There is somebody who is managing it. Nowadays, we are living in a modern world. You will be sitting in a theater, you will go into that room from where the light is being projected, and you will see there is nobody else. The room is all empty. The light is being projected by itself. You'll say, no, there is nobody. Is that really possible? There will be somebody somewhere. The reality is that. Nowadays, war happens. People are sitting in their countries and if they want, they can just launch a missile sitting here. But somebody is there who is doing it. So, that somebody, now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Brahma Tattva, he said right. But that somebody who is not mentioned, that Brahma is Bhagwan. So Bhagwan is the main. So Brahma and Bhagwan. And whatever was happening in the screen, those actors are always alive. The movie is over in like 3 hours. You come out of the theater. But where are the actors? They're alive. Somewhere doing something else. This is how the movie of life is. We act today, we'll go. Then again next will start. Like in a day, the same show goes like 3 or 4 times, right? Nowadays, I don't know how works in multiplex, but in our time it was like that. There used to be a matinee show, then there used to be 12 to 3 show, then there used to be another 3 to 6, and then 6 to 9, and then 9 to 12. Shows used to be like that, 3-hour movie. Nowadays, movie hours are different. And there used to be only one theater. So we used to go, like not like multiplexes, there was only one. So the show, so one show is over, next show starts, the next show is over, the third show starts like that. So our life is like that. From birth to death, one show. Then cast off this makeup, this dress, this bodily dress. Get into another dress, another role. The next show starts, and the show must go on. As Shakespeare rightly put it, this world is a stage. So someone who's intelligent will know, okay, I'm done with this show business. No more. Who is the one, the producer, director of this? Okay, the producer is Bhagwan, the director is Maya. I better go back to him and sit with him and enjoy the show and not be the part of it anymore. So that is Bhagwan. So yes, Brahma is Satya, no doubt. But beyond that Brahma, that same Brahma is Bhagwan. That thing has not been clearly explained. It was all explained indirectly. That is why anybody who gets into this philosophy, there is always a chance of getting lost, confusion. I'm telling you, many students come to me in the beginning when I used to teach Gita. They are all very Advaitis. They've learned from other organizations. And when there is a label of a big organization, then you think, oh, this is authentic. And the teachers themselves are repeating the same thing right there because they are by-hearted. They are trained. I am untrained. I'm not trained like this, like a college graduate, I'm not trained like that. What I experience, I speak. I learned it, but I speak like with experience. So one day I sat teaching Bhagavad Gita to someone and I explained the chapter 15. So this guy, he learned from me and then he told one of his doctor friends and she called me. I didn't know who this person was, from Arizona. She calls me. She's like, oh, so-and-so person spoke about you very highly. Can you explain me something about Bhagavad Gita? I'm like, yeah, what do you want to learn? But before learning, see, there has to be humble attitude to learn. Before learning, she's like, oh, I'm learning from this and this organization, and we are Advaitis, and so my background now. I'm like, yeah, I know your background. So you only explain me the slok number 15.1 of Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagwan is saying this world, this material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. Well, when Bhagwan is saying this world is a reflection of the spiritual world, now if you are that staunch Advaiti, prove it. So I asked her, I'm like, you are from a great organization. Why don't you go and ask your teacher? No, I could not understand. He just made so many things here and there and there. And there. So then I told her, for some time, just get into this philosophy of dualism for some time. If someone says, if Bhagwan, the supreme authority says, this world is a reflection of the spiritual world. So let us analyze what happens in this world. There are so many beings, right, moving around. So if this is a reflection, then in that world also there will be so many beings moving around. You experience love here. So there must be love there also. You are experiencing so many emotions. Anger here. There must be anger there also. You are experiencing relationships in this world. So there must be things over there also. If this world is a reflection of the spiritual world, then if there are so many varieties here, then there are varieties in the spiritual world too. Does that make it clear? She's like, yeah. So then I said, but what happens? That whatever you are experiencing here gets distorted. Something is distorting it. It's like a tree near a lake, near a pond, where the water is still. A tree near a pond where the water is still, when the tree is standing and you see the reflection in the water. So when the pond is still, pond water is still, you'll see a clear reflection. If there is a movement in the tree up, there'll be a movement here in the water. Or if there's or if you throw a stone here, there'll be ripple. And that whole image will be distorted. So everything that we see here appears distorted. Because that pond, what I'm talking, is the pond of your consciousness. Your consciousness, there are multiple stones of Rajoguna, Satoguna, Tamoguna that distorts your consciousness. And because of that, everything is distorted here. But somehow, if you can still the waters of your mind and your consciousness, then whatever is there in the spiritual world, in the real form, you will experience here also in the real form. Bhagwan, who can create hundreds of forms, he can have thousands of hands and he can be 200 also at the same time. In between, whatever is there which is creating the illusion, the light and the sound, this is just coming from his toenail. That's what we say. So going to a theater and just seeing the picture and then saying, oh, the picture is an illusion. And then seeing the light and saying, oh, the light is the truth. That is also an illusion. You have still not gone beyond. Go beyond. There are actors, there are producer, there is director. Similarly, while we are living in this world, there is Bhagavan. There are his planets. There are lokas. And there are beings. You go to spiritual realms, go to heaven, there are beings with those kind of bodies. On earth itself, we see so many things, right? A fish has been given a particular body to survive only in water. It cannot survive on earth. A tortoise has been given a body by which it can survive for 100 years, both on earth and water. Plants in the desert have been given whatever the structure they have been given to survive in desert. So when on earth we see so much diversity, then how are you saying that everything is just formless? Everything just Brahma, everything merges in that one conscious energy. And there is nothing beyond. What are you saying? You can go beyond and you can have those kind of bodies too. Bhagwan created this world. Just because you're not able to understand, it's very difficult to understand. Get inside an ocean, try to swim, and tell me, go inside the ocean, spend your whole life and tell me what all you saw in ocean. Will you be able to tell? So whatever little understanding you have, you talk like that. So he's saying, whatever Shankaracharya said about Brahma is right. But you also have to agree that Vyasadeva gave the Vedanta Sutra. And on that, there is Bhashya written by Shankaracharya. And do you agree that Vyasadeva is the incarnation of Narayana? And there cannot be any defects in what Vyasadeva said. Human defects, because it's Bhagwan himself. So then when there is a defect, it means it has not been projected rightly. So Brahma Shabdiya Mukhya Artha Kahe Bhagwana. Mukhya Artha of Brahma is Bhagwan. The main meaning of Brahma Shabd is Bhagwan. Chid Aishwarya Paripurna. Who is Bhagwan? Who is made out of pure consciousness, and he has all the opulences. Anurdhva Samana. And there is nobody like Bhagwan. Nobody can surpass him. A shlok is given. Vadanti tat tattva vidastatvam yajnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti shabdete. You must understand these three. Those who are in the spiritual path of dualism, non-dualism, all these English words will confuse you. Especially, I'm talking to those who can understand Hindi, those who can understand Sanskrit. Be very open to what I'm trying to teach. Vyasadeva said, Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti shabdyate. He says, learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call that absolute truth in three words: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Brahman is the super conscious energy which we see, which is spread everywhere in the living beings and as well as the non-living beings, non-living things. Paramatma is that spirit soul. We are alive because of that soul energy. That is Paramatma. It is in all living beings. And Bhagwan is the owner of everything. The living beings, the Brahma, everything is his. That is Bhagwan. Tanara vibhuti deha saba chid akar chida vibhuti yachadi tanre kahe nirakar. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining everything about Bhagwan is spiritual. His body, his opulences, his paraphernalia, everything is spiritual. And Mayavada philosophy, where this is covered by Maya, that is the philosophy. However, covers his spiritual potencies, advocates the theory of impersonalism. Chidananda teno tara sthana parivara tanrekha he prakrita satvera vikara. That Bhagwan is full of spiritual potencies. Therefore, his body, name, fame, and entourage are all spiritual. The Mayavadi philosophers, due to ignorance, say that these are all merely transformations of the energy. Tanra dosh nahi, teno agya kari dasa, ara yehi shune tara, haya sarvanasha. Shankaracharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Tanra dosh nahi. This is not the fault of Shankaracharya. Who is an incarnation of Lord Shiva. He is faultless because he is carrying out the orders of the Lord. But those who follow this philosophy will be confused. They will lose their advancement in spiritual knowledge because they have not understood the truth fully. And I gave you the background why it happened. Buddha came. Why did Buddha give that philosophy? The question may go, and I have explained to you, he wanted to stop violence, animal killings. People are talking about dharma and going on killing animals. This is not given in the Vedas at all. You misunderstood everything and then you started propagating that. So Buddha came to stop it. And propagating, like when you read Buddha's philosophy, you understand the whole thing. And he was successful in doing that. But he took away the Vedas because people were, the Vedas have said, the Vedas have said, the books have said, the books have said. Wrong interpretation. So take away the books. I'm telling you what I have experienced. And people heard Buddha because he did the journey in this path. Vedas recommended so many strong, vrata, fastings. He went to the extreme, he followed Jainism for some time. When he left his home, he went to a Jain guru. And the Jainis were like extreme austerities, tapas, because they believe in tapas. He followed that path. And after some time, he became so weak, he's not able to do anything. And there was this lady who came with kheer to him and gave him some energy. He got up. He realized to experience the ultimate truth, I don't have to starve myself. If this body is alive, then I will experience the ultimate truth. I cannot go on extreme penance. I have to keep the body alive to understand the ultimate truth. So he left that path also. But he took a lot of good things from Jainism. When you read the Jaina Sutras and when you read the Buddhist Sutras, you'll see a lot of in Buddhism, they call him Arhat, and in that path, they call Arihant, Jainis. And both of them follow Samayiks. Samayiks means 48 minutes of meditation. 48 minutes, that's it. 4 times a day. 2 ghadi. So Buddha took some good things from their Jainism. And whatever other gurus he had Sankhya, and he knew about Sankhya philosophy. And took all the teachings. And then went himself and sat down, following the middle path. Not too extreme in anything. And then he got his bodhi's enlightenment. And then when he spoke, he said, I'm speaking with experience, anubhav bhavit gyan, bhavana bhavit gyan. I'm not giving you the bookish knowledge. So the great gurus come, they give you knowledge from their own experience, but then the followers, they cannot understand. And then they preach something else. So Shankaracharya, even Mahaprabhu is saying, Shankaracharya was not wrong. His followers, who could not understand, who are only bookish in their knowledge. So when you give bookish knowledge, it is going to be filled with defects. So he says, it is not his mistake. His followers who could not understand it, they will be left confused if they follow that. Prakrita kariya mane Vishnu kalaivara Vishnu nindara nahi hara upara. One who considers the transcendental body of the Lord Vishnu to be made of material nature is the greatest offender of the lotus feet of the Lord. There is no great blasphemy against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is like a blazing fire, and the living entities are like small sparks of that fire. The living entities are energy and not the energetic. The energetic is Krishna. This is very vividly described in Bhagavad Gita, the Vishnu Purana, and other Vedic literatures. People will say, oh, that Krishna who had come, he was a human being. Inside him, God was speaking. Your logic fails, my brother. Because first you have to accept Veda Vyas. Asochistam Jagat Sarvam. Oh, we don't know who Veda Vyas is. Well, he wrote Bhagavad Gita. So you have to accept the author who wrote the Bhagavad Gita. First thing first. And that author of Bhagavad Gita, everywhere writes Bhagwan Uach, Bhagwan Uach, Bhagwan Uach. Bhagwan has said, Bhagwan has said, Bhagwan has said. And you want to just put your own logic. No, there was some human being through whom Bhagwan has said. Or he would have nicely written that. If Vyas had to write that, no, he would have written that. Oh, this was a human being. And through that human being, some Bhagwan is talking. Because after writing the Mahabharata, understand this, after writing the Mahabharata, he compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam, where he spoke about Krishna's glories at length. So those who keep this kind of argument, they have not read the Bhagavat. You have not seen the next series. You have only seen the first series and make a decision in your head. You have not seen the second one. It's not Krishna who watch you. It's Bhagavan who watch you. And Bhagavan is Krishna. If you say everything is Brahma, then that Bhagavan who came as Krishna is also Brahma. So his body, his incarnation, it is also Brahma. It is also superconscious energy. There is no difference between them. Then people will go in different form, you know. Their arguments are like, oh, Atma, Paramatma, this, that. You experience it first, then you talk. If you talk on words, it's not possible to understand. So one is you heard, and then you contemplated, and then you went to lengths to experience it. Then you will understand. Both are the duality and the non-duality together exist. Bhagavan says in Gita, they take a shloka from Gita. Besides this inferior energies, O mighty Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Vishnu Shakti para prokta kshetrajnyakhya tatha para avidya karma samajnana tritiya shakti ishyate. The potency of Lord Vishnu is summarized in three categories, namely the spiritual potency of living entities and ignorance, the spiritual potency, the living entities, and ignorance. The spiritual potency is full of knowledge. The living entities, although belonging to the spiritual potency, are subject to bewilderment. And the third energy, which is full of ignorance, is always visible in the fruitive activities. This is from Vishnu Purana. Bhagavan says, He na jiva tattva laya likhi para tattva achana karila shreshta ishvara mahatva. The Mayavadi philosophers, what they did, they said the insignificant living entities are like Bhagavan. They are Bhagavan himself. Thereby they covered the glory and the supremacy of the absolute truth with their monistic beliefs. If I have always explained this way, I exist. And then I have a son, my son exists. He's my expansion, he's my part and parcel. He will have features like me, qualities like me, but he's an individual being. We both exist. But if somebody takes the DNA of both of us, probably at the DNA level, it will be the same. So that being one same at the DNA level is Advaita. We being together as two people is Dvaita, dualistic. Somebody says, what happened when you die? Well, he is going to be in his soul form with his consciousness. I'm going to be in my soul form with my consciousness. This is what Gita has told us. We maintain our individualism. Bhagavan said in Gita in chapter 4, Oh Arjun, I have been there forever. You have also been there forever. But you have forgotten. I remember everything. So what will happen when the living being remembers? Oh, he will also remember the same thing what Krishna remembers, that you have been there forever. But you were in the cycle of this life, taking birth and birth and birth. Same wheel, like a hamster. But when the illusion is broken, you know, you existed and he existed, and you both existed forever, forever and ever. And both of you have the same body, Sachidananda. And that is where the Advaitism happens. We both have the same body. We both are pure. We both are full of bliss. We both are full of pure consciousness. That is where Advaita is. Getting it? All right. In his Vedanta Sutra, Srila Vyasadeva has described that everything is but a transformation of the energy of the Lord. Shankaracharya, however, has misled the world by commenting that Vyasadeva was mistaken. Thus, he has raised great opposition to theism throughout the entire world. Parinama Vede Ishvara Hayana Vikara Eta Kahi Vivartavada Sthapana Yekari. According to Shankaracharya, by accepting the theory of the transformation of energy of the Lord, one creates an illusion by indirectly accepting that the absolute truth is transformed. Vastutaha, Parinamavada say pramana, Dehe Atma Buddhiyahi, Vivartera Sthana. Transformation of energy is a proven fact. It is the false bodily conception of the self that is an illusion. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is opulent in all respects. Therefore, by his inconceivable energies, he has transformed the material cosmic manifestation. Using the example of a touchstone, which by its energy turns iron into gold and yet remains the same. So he's given an example, a philosopher's stone or a touchstone. If you take a touchstone and touch an iron, it will turn into gold. So the iron has turned into gold. What about the touchstone? It remains the same. So this is the transformation that is happening in the world. Bhagavan remains the same. We can understand that although Bhagavan transforms his innumerable energies, he remains unchanged. Although a touchstone produces many varieties of valuable jewels, it nevertheless remains the same. It does not change its form. If there is such inconceivable potency in material objects, why should we not believe in the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? The Vedic sound vibration Omkar, the principal word, the main word in the Vedic literatures is the basis of all Vedic vibration. Therefore, one should accept Omkar as the sound representation of Bhagavan and the reservoir of cosmic manifestation. Sarvashaya Ishvarera Pranavera Uddesha Tattvamasi Vakya Hayavedera Ekadesha. It is the purpose of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to present Omkar as the reservoir of all Vedic knowledge. The words Tattvamasi are only a partial explanation of the Vedic knowledge. So Omkar is the original word, and then people say, oh, you are Omkar, Tattvamasi. He is that. He is Omkar. And that's the basis of giving that Bhagavan is formless. Tattvamasi. He is that. What? He is Omkar. What is Omkar? Sound vibration. He is just a sound vibration. Pranava is the Mahavakya, Mahamantra in the Vedas. Shankaracharya's followers cover this to stress the authority of the mantra Tattvam Asi. Bhagavan, he says in Gita, I am Pranava, I am Omkar. And you just cover it up. Those who are envious and mischievous, they do this. When Krishna says in the Gita, Man mana bhava mad bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru. become my devotee, always thinking of me, offer obeisances to me, then why should those who think themselves of scholar disregard Krishna's existence? And they say, oh, you don't have to surrender to Krishna because you are also Tattvamasi, you are Krishna. So this scholarly interpretation is going to confuse you. This is not the purpose of Vedas. The purpose of Vedas is to make you realize that God exists and you are part and parcel of that Bhagavan. Sarva Veda Sutre Kari Krishnera Vidana Mukhya Vritti Chadi Kaila Lakshana Vyakhyana. In all the Vedic sutras and literatures, it is Lord Krishna who is to be understood. But the followers of Shankaracharya had covered the real meaning with the indirect explanation. To prove their philosophy, the members of the Mayavad school have given up the real, easily understood meaning of the Vedic literatures and introduced indirect meanings based on their imagination. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed for each and every sutra the defects in Shankaracharya's explanation, all the assembled Mayavadi sannyasis there were struck with wonder. And they all said in one voice, Your Holiness, kindly know from us that we actually have no quarrel with your refutation of these meanings. You have given a clear understanding to us today. We know that all this world jugglery springs from the imagination. And yet, because we belong to this sect, we accept it, although it does not even satisfy us. Sometimes we also had questions, but since we belong to the sect, we are just saying yes to everything. Now let us see how well you can describe the sutras in terms of their direct meaning. Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya began his direct explanation of the Vedanta Sutra. And there are a few more shlokas, and time is also up. Let me just read it. 5 minutes more. Brahman, Bhagavan says, Brahman, who is greater than the greatest, is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is full in 6 opulences, and therefore he is the reservoir of ultimate truth and absolute knowledge. So Bhagavan means who is Shadaishwarya Purna. Shadaishwarya Purna means he has all the 6 opulences, namely wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. I have spoken about this in great length in the Gita lectures. Please do go and listen to the Gita lectures, you will know. Bhagwan in his original form is full of all these 6 opulences, and these opulences are free from all contaminations of the material world. And it is to be understood that in all Vedic literature, that Bhagwan is the ultimate goal. When we speak of Bhagwan or the Supreme as impersonal, we are denying his internal, his spiritual potencies. And therefore, if you accept half the truth, you cannot understand the whole. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining. So how can he be understood? Well, you can understand the whole truth only by Bhagwan prapti hetu ye kari upaya shravanadi bhakti Krishna prapti rasahaya. You must follow him. You must approach him through devotional service. And the main thing in that devotional service is hearing and practicing it. Shravanam kirtanam Vishnu smaranam pada sevanam archanam vandanam dasyam sakhyam atmanivedanam. You have to follow the 9 steps of bhakti. By practicing the regulated devotional service under the direction of spiritual master, certainly one awakens his love for Godhead, and this is called avideya. If one develops his love for Godhead and becomes attached to the lotus feet of Krishna, he gradually loses attachment to everything else. Love of Godhead is so exalted that it is to be considered to be the 5th goal of human life. By awakening one's love of Godhead, one can attain the platform of conjugal love, tasting it even during the present span of life. Prema haite Krishna haya nija bhakti vasha, prema haite paya Krishnera seva sukha rasa. You can only get this prema ras by practicing Krishna bhakti. The Supreme Lord, who is greater than the greatest, becomes submissive to a very insignificant devotee because of his bhakti. It is the beautiful and exalted nature of bhakti that infinite Lord becomes submissive to the infinitesimal living entity, and because of it, in reciprocal devotional activities with the Lord, the devotee actually enjoys the transcendental mellows of devotional service. One's relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead, activities in terms of that relationship, and the ultimate goal of life to develop love of God. These three subjects are explained in every aphorism and of the Vedanta Sutra, for they form the culmination of the entire Vedanta philosophy. When all Mayavadi sannyasis heard the explanation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they all spoke very humbly. So the Mayavadi sannyasis were convinced. They said, "Sir, your knowledge of Vedas are direct, and it seems to us that you are Narayana himself. Kindly please excuse us for all the offenses we did by criticizing you." And from that moment onwards, the Mayavadi sannyasis heard the explanation of Vedanta Sutra from the Lord, and their minds changed, and they changed too, and they said Krishna, Krishna always. And the Lord Chaitanya, thus Lord Chaitanya excused all the offenses of the sannyasis and very mercifully blessed them with Krishna Nama. After all this, the sannyasis took the Lord into their midst, and thus they all took meal together. And after taking the lunch with Mayavadi sannyasis, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known as Gaurasundara, returned to his residence. Thus the Lord performs his wonderful pastimes. Hearing the arguments of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and seeing his victory, Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra and Sanatan Goswami were all greatly pleased. All the sannyasis came to see the Lord after this incident, and the entire city of Varanasi praised the Lord. Since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the city of Varanasi, and all of its people were very thankful, the crowd at the door of his residence was so great that it numbered hundreds of thousands. When the Lord went to visit the temple of Vishveshwar, hundreds of thousands of people assembled to see him. And wherever Lord Chaitanya went to the banks of the Ganges to take his bath, big crowds of many hundreds of thousands of people assembled there. Whenever the crowds were too great, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood up and raised his hands and said, "Hari, Hari," to which all the people responded, filling the land and the sky with the same vibration, "Hari, Hari." And after thus delivering the people in general, the Lord desired to leave Varanasi, and he instructed Sanatan Goswami, and he sent him towards Vrindavan. And because the city of Varanasi was always full of tumultuous crowd, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after sending Sanatan to Vrindavan, returned back to Jagannath Puri. I have given here brief account of these pastimes of the Lord, but later I shall describe to you in extensive ways. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates of the Panchatattva distributed the holy name of the Lord to invoke the love of Godhead throughout the universe, and thus the universe was thankful. Lord Chaitanya dispatched two generals, Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, to Vrindavan to preach the Bhakti cult. As Rupa and Sanatan were sent towards Mathura, Nityanand Prabhu was sent to Bengal to preach extensively the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally went to South India, and he broadcasted the name of Lord Krishna in every village and every town. Thus the Lord went to the southernmost strip of the Indian peninsula, known as the Setu Bandha. Everywhere he distributed bhakti and the name of Krishna. In this way, he delivered everyone. I have thus explained the truth of Panchatattva. One who hears this explanation increases in knowledge of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. While chanting the Panchatattva mantra, one must chant the names of Sri Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhara, and Srivasadi, and other many devotees. Sri Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita Tina Jana, Srivasadi, Gadadhara, Yada Bhakta Gana. I again and again offer obeisances unto the Panchatattva. Thus I think that I will be able to describe something about the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunatha, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-lila, 7th chapter, describing Lord Chaitanya in 5 features. So today we finished the Adi-lila, volume 1. This Prakashanand Saraswati, who was the leader of the sannyasis, after he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he got all this knowledge, Bhagavan said, you have got now the Prabodha. So from now onwards, you are going to become Prabodhanand Saraswati. So he is Prabodhanand Saraswati, who wrote the Vrindavan Mahimamrita, and on which I am speaking in the other channel. The channel's name is Vrindavan Mahimamrita. All right, so we'll end it up here. Your comments, it is only because of your teaching and patience with us that we now understand that Bhagavan himself talking to us in Bhagavad Gita. Jai Guru Ma, is it true that we are playing in different roles as individual souls in different universes? Simultaneously, I heard this and want to hear your thoughts on this. No, not like that. How can we be in different places simultaneously? Only Bhagavan can be in different places simultaneously. Here we are confined to our own body. That's about it. If you rise to that level, higher level of realization, then yes, you can present yourself in different places. But otherwise, no. As a soul, we are individual souls. Bhagavan is spread everywhere. Okay? So this is not right. All right, so we'll end it up here. May all your days and night be Krishnamay, and we'll see you tomorrow with second volume of Adi-lila. Jai Shri Krishna. Radhe Radhe.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, Ma.